Hello, and welcome to another episode of Unhindered Faith. Have you ever felt like God was calling you to lead, but you weren't ready? Like you heard his voice say, go, and your first reaction was, wait, me? I've been there. There have been seasons where I felt completely out of my depth as a pastor, as a husband, and as a leader. But I've learned something powerful, and it's this: God isn't looking for the most capable person. He's looking for the most available one. If you've ever felt unqualified, you're in the right place. Because today we're talking about how God uses ordinary, imperfect people to lead in extraordinary ways. Let's start with the verse in 1 Corinthians 1:27. It says this: God chose the foolish things of the world to shame the wise, and God chose the weak things of the world to shame the strong. I want you to think about that. When God needed a spokesperson, he chose Moses, a man who stuttered. When he needed a warrior, he chose Gideon, a man who was hiding in fear. When he wanted to lead his church, he chose Peter, the guy who denied him 3 times. You see, over and over, God chooses people who don't feel ready, because he's not looking at your resume, he's looking at your heart. You see, the first thing I've learned is this: God's call comes before your confidence. When God called Moses, Moses asked, "Who am I that I should go to Pharaoh?" That's a question every leader asks at some point. We want to feel qualified before we step out, but God gives us confidence after we obey. It's in the stepping out that strength shows up. If you wait until you feel ready, you'll never lead. God's call always comes before your confidence. And when you say yes, he equips you as you go. So ask yourself this question: what's the one thing God's been nudging you to do that you've been putting off because you just don't feel ready? Maybe it's mentoring somebody or leading a team or starting a Bible study. You don't have to have it all figured out. Just start. Here's the second thing: God uses imperfect people to do his perfect work. I love the story of Gideon in Judges chapter 6. The angel of the Lord calls him mighty warrior, and Gideon basically says, you've got the wrong guy. He tells God his tribe is the weakest and he's the least qualified. But God saw something in Gideon that Gideon couldn't see yet, and he sees something in you. Maybe you look at your past, the mistakes, the doubts, the failures, and think that disqualifies you. But it's often the very thing that becomes your greatest testimony. John Maxwell puts it this way: people don't follow perfection, they follow authenticity. So don't hide your story. Share how God brought you through, because when you lead with authenticity, people connect with the God who changed you, not the version of you that pretends to have it all together. And here's the last thing I want you to remember: God's power is revealed through your dependence. In 2 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 9, it says, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." If you want to lead strong, you have to lead surrendered. God's strength flows through humility. When you feel unqualified, that's not the time to quit. It's your cue to lean on him harder. You don't need to have all the answers. You just need to point people to the one who does. Because your leadership isn't about being impressive. It's about being dependent. So, if you're feeling unqualified, good. You're right where God can use you the most. Because the truth is this: he's not looking for perfection. He's looking for a willing heart. If he's called you, he'll equip you. And if he's chosen you, he'll prepare you. remember this: God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the call. If this message has encouraged you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Also, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I just wanted to encourage you today that a lot of times in leadership, we don't feel qualified, and that's actually a really good place to be, because we have to lean into the one who qualifies us. So I hope this encouraged you, and I hope you have a blessed week.